Hold on to your hats, true believers. While Marvel Studios Phase 4 is pretty much set in stone and Phase 5 is only beginning to take shape, the rumor mill has churned out an eye-popper. The studio is reportedly prepping an Avengers vs. X-Men movie, possibly for Phase 6. The report comes from our friends at We Got This Covered, who we know don't always nail it when it comes to the Marvel pipeline. But that hasn't stopped them from making this bold claim about the future of the MCU. Citing inside sources, the publication put forth a surprising number of details about the alleged Avengers vs. X-Men project.
You sure you saw what you saw?
According to these sources, the proposed picture would come down the pike well after the X-Men have been introduced into the MCU, which is not expected to happen for 2 years or more. It would involve different Avengers from the ones that we all know and love, which squares with comments made by Marvel head honcho Kevin Feige to MTV News back in June. Feige said at the time, "The new Avengers will be a very different team than we've seen before. That's what Endgame was all about. It will be a very different incarnation of the team, with some people you've already met and some people you haven't met yet." According to WGTC's sources, the team that Marvel has in mind fits that description to a T. Black Panther, Scarlet Witch, and, assuming that Sony and Marvel eventually get around to ironing out their differences, Spider-Man could all be on board, as well as the Jane Foster version of Thor, who is set to make her debut in 2022's Thor: Love and Thunder. Also up for spots on the team, Simu Liu's Shang-Chi, whose solo feature Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings drops in February 2021, and Mahershala Ali's Blade, whose solo movie is thought to be scaring up Phase 5. Even more intriguingly, the flick is said to be taking the inspiration for its plot from a mind-blowing Marvel storyline, House of M. The 2005 crossover event, penned by comics legend Brian Michael Bendis, mostly took place in an alternate reality created by Scarlet Witch after she suffered a mental breakdown. But most notably, Wanda also used her reality-altering abilities to depower virtually every mutant on Earth, not in the alternate reality, but in the actual Marvel U. The events of House of M had a lasting effect on the Marvel Universe, and elements of the story led into the 2012 Avengers vs. X-Men crossover, also co-written by Bendis. Obviously, a good number of tweaks would have to be made to adapt the story to the screen, but this is nothing new for Marvel. Captain America Civil War took a ton of liberties with the 2006-2007 event from which it took its title, just as the 1-2 punch of Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame did with 1991's Infinity Gauntlet limited series. While the news of a potential Avengers vs. X-Men movie might sound like a whole lot of wishful thinking, it's worth mentioning that the very same sources that supplied WGTC with the intel have been right on the money with their Marvel rumor mongering on multiple occasions. They had previously leaked that the real Mandarin would be the villain of Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, that the post-credit scene in the Avengers Endgame re-release would center on the Hulk, and that iconic Marvel baddie the Taskmaster would be the primary antagonist of next year's Black Widow. All of these reports turned out to be accurate. So while they may be wrong sometimes, these folks do seem to have managed to sneak a few top-secret files out of Marvel Studios' offices under their trench coats. We may not yet know exactly how Mighty Marvel will approach folding the X-Men into the MCU, or how its take will differ from the long-running Fox Studios X-Men film series, but we're going to go ahead and state the obvious. An Avengers vs. X-Men flick has the potential to be nothing short of epic. If we ever do get a formal announcement, the force of fans' heads all around the world exploding will register on the Richter scale. Obviously, Marvel loves to keep details about its upcoming films and television series close to the vest, meaning that even if Avengers vs. X-Men is being actively developed, we're not going to hear anything official about it for a long, long time.
They can threaten me all they want, Charles. I'll never tell them where you are.
But you better believe that we'll be keeping our eyes peeled for all the latest rumors and leaks. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about the Marvel Cinematic Universe are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.